Bit of an update of what's going on in Minnesota as that billion-dollar fraud scandal continues on.
What we're talking about here is now the chairman of the House Oversight Committee, James Comer, has launched an investigation also into the widespread fraud that we have seen in Minnesota. This is that billion-dollar fraud where they are alleging, and a lot of it has been documented, that over $1 billion was taken both from COVID relief, from Medicaid and Medicare programs, and stolen effectively from the taxpayers, not going to help anyone. And a lot of that, they are concerned, also may have helped finance Al-Shabaab, the terrorist organization in Somalia. So now that we know the Treasury, Department is looking into that. We heard from Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, earlier this week, but now James Comer, chairman of the House Oversight Committee, has sent a letter to both Tim Walz and also one to Keith Ellison, saying that they are investigating this. They have oversight over federal tax dollars. The power of the purse lies with Congress, and they are concerned about how the governor and the Democrat-controlled administration allowed millions of dollars to be stolen. And the committee also has concerns that Governor Walz and his administration were fully aware of this fraud and chose not to act for fear of political retaliation. They go into a lot of the details of what they are interested in, as well as lay out many steps of documents they're requesting. I very much could see in the future a hearing that is conducted in Washington, D.C. I almost said Nashville. They don't have hearings here. They should. They'd be a lot more entertaining. But they are looking forward because now the committee has requested documents, and a lot of them, both from the state of Minnesota and the governor's office, but as well as from a lot of these organizations that were receiving the money and that were stealing it in many cases. But they want the following information very soon. They want it within the next few weeks to get this from the individuals no later than December 17th. So just shy of 2 weeks, they want this information. And I assume that a hearing is forthcoming. You don't normally get all these documents and not do anything else with it. We will see where the Oversight Committee goes, but there's even some allegations that Keith Ellison, former member of Congress, now the Attorney General of Minnesota, there's allegations that he was talking with this Feeding Our Future organization, the one that stole millions of dollars of COVID money, and that it's on tape, allegedly, that saying that if he helped them in this way, he would get campaign donations from the Somali community. We will see where this goes. We will see if there are criminal referrals that come out of the Oversight Committee to the Department of Justice. But we know that this is a big problem. And we know that the governor of Minnesota kind of laughed it off and blew it off and said, no, I'm not accountable for that. I'm accountable for putting people in jail. But yet the own employees of the state were telling him and putting out publicly, whistleblowers, we told them, and they did nothing. So this is all at a time where a lot of things from the past that weren't looked into by Democrat administrations are coming to light now. Sunshine is the best disinfectant, they say. So now that we are shining a light on these things, hopefully accountability will take place. But it's also at a time, Logan, when we are fighting California, they're still trying to take the money from that church, Calvary Chapel, San Jose. And as we heard from James Comer, we have to look at other blue states as well to see if they had rampant fraud. Meanwhile, they're going after churches trying to take their tithes.
Texas is arresting people giving out food and drink and preaching the gospel in a bus terminal in Houston, Texas. You know, this is outlandish when you really start to think about who gets targeted, who doesn't get targeted in the United States of America. And a lot of times it has to do with whatever faith it is that you're preaching. And that shouldn't be that way, regardless of what faith you want to preach.